Alright, next up, we have to go to that disposal facility that Fizwidget told us about, where we can dispose the protopet, supposedly, at the Hrugis cloud.
Alright, input the password now.
Check. Here goes.
So let's see, the password did not work. Damn it.
You better check that code.
Also, because of a different armor, Ratchet Clank was
The
clicking
defenses
without
are
it.
attacking us. We've got to hold them off until Fizwidget gets here.
Alright, that means we have another ship combat section. This one is a bit more annoying because you have to neutralize specifically these security systems, you know, and then also destroy the repair bots that are dispatched in order to repair them. So there you go, you need to basically act very fast. Basically, I hope the game expects you to have upgraded to some minimal degree to the incognito check, because otherwise you will have a bad time. But there you go, as you can see, I'm not, it's still not too difficult.
Can you hear me?
Sir, you gave us an erroneous password.
Implausible! Unless, is this Tuesday or Wednesday? Anyway, sorry to have missed our meeting, but I was called away to film a commercial for our weapons facilitory.
But sir, what about the
Commercial? I was great! Here, watch this!
Alright, let's see.
But I didn't ask
you warm.
At least we don't have to pay to watch this one.
Keeps you safe. Hello, I'm Abercrombie Fizwidget, and I'd like to welcome you to the new MegaCorp weapons facility. We offer guided tours
Basically,
to
a
show you
place
how
where
our
the
weapons
whole
are
family
made.
can take
Our
a
highly
peek
trained
and
experts
visit
spend
our
their day
entire
creating the
MegaCorp
latest
facility.
heavy-duty weaponry to protect you
Yay!
and your whole family.
Oh. Lives, have
So
you
stop by
wrote
today
this whole
and
video?
bring the kids.
Just asking.
Our tours are both informative
Tell you
and
whatever about
fun.
you want. You won't need it afterwards anyway.
Even the balloons
And who knows?
explode.
You just might
In
learn
fact,
something.
this is kind of sorta a hint towards a skill
was
point.
one handsome
Basically,
fellow,
it's
eh,
not too much of a
boys?
spoiler. When you get there, you get similar, you know,
Sir,
convoys of people
Mr.
following
Fizwidget,
the
come in.
robotic
Perhaps we can still
Fizwidget,
find
and
you
you
at
get
the
a skill
weapons
point
facility.
if you manage to make sure that they travel through the entire, the entire track.
Factory.
That they're programmed to set, the AI programmed to set in, without any single one of them getting killed. You need to perform an escort mission to get one of the skill points.
So Dribs would fail that one.
Anyway, I got the bouncer in the meantime. This baby is just absolutely lovely. What it does is basically fires a single, not spiky, but you know, dodgeball as projectiles. Which then, you know, gets converted, and in the first explosion, to a bunch of other small balls that bounce around and damage enemies. You're about to see. There you go. It's lovely, it's perfect for crowd control, it requires only one projectile for these, so it's just perfect. It basically outclasses the mini nuke in all of its aspects. In fact, it actually is relatively iconic. It came back with a lot of games, including, infamously, the 2016 remake, actually, reimagining, sorry, of the game, actually had it as a pre-order bonus, if I recall correctly, but it was one case where it was one of those DLCs, pre-order bonus, that was later never really properly released as standalone DLC. So, oops. But hey, still a cool weapon at the end of the day. Also, the local fauna are these squirrel bees. I have no idea what these things are, but they look angry. Obviously, one easy way to have the robots survive is to kill all of the enemies in the area and then wait for the next shipment of tourists. But again, it still requires some time. And by the way, another thing that I didn't do, I don't think you do even later, if you had a keen eye, you notice that the place where, you know, Robot Fizwidget actually enters contains a platinum vault, so you can actually follow in there to get an extra collectible. Alright, let's activate, there you go. elevator. Take me home. Basically, you start outside of a building, but you get inside very quickly. And as you can see, you have a line that actually allows you to get back quickly to your ship. Which will be our way out. But you also have a teleporter, just in case, I guess. Oh no. And yeah, outside of the local fauna, the main enemies are these massive guard robots that you saw in the Hall of It, fortunately. Okay, I guess it's time where I can finally talk about properly this hacking. Again, you have these lines, these green lines that you have to, there you go, connect with each other until you reach back your, your origin point. Sounds relatively fine on paper. Even if you get a dead end, you can just, go back and go the other way until you get to the end properly. The problem is that these are hacking moments with very stingy time limits, as you'll be about to see in future cases. So in a lot of times it requires a bit of trial and error, and the end result is that you have to remember specifically the tracking road that you have taken, which a lot of times it's very complex. Sometimes it requires you to perform something like, say, a dozen segments, which means, a lot of memorization going left and right or up and down, since it's moves on a 3D environment, So again, overall, it's not the most pleasant of times. Again, the hacking in general in this game is something that can be described as technically okay on paper, but then it becomes exhausting very quickly. Alright, now properly into the building. As you can see also, my nanotech is starting to be upgraded this much that the icons have shrunk a bit in order to compensate that. In the next game, if I recall correctly, and following that, you will probably get instead a number instead of the icons, mostly because you get to relatively ludicrous numbers, so it kinda makes sense that we'll have to convey better in the HUD. Alright, yeah, already, this is the third major hacking. Sure, it's for an optional area, but look at this shit.
I guess they wanted to keep it fresh with the hacking.
I don't even, like I said, I don't even dislike this minigame. I just think the time limit is a bit too stingy for its own good. But again, I don't even dislike the fact that it's present to begin with. Again, challenge and all, but...
I mean, is it anything like a hacking and saw the video game at least?
I don't remember how it's performed there.
Anyway, story-wise...
switch buttons and switches and...
Yes, Jova?
Universe-wise, it makes sense why there would be a time limit, hence the hacking system. Gameplay-wise, my best guess is they didn't want it to be too easy, so they gave it a time limit. Not saying they needed to, but that's probably the mentality. Is to give you that challenge, a sense.
If I recall correctly, I don't remember if you go immediately there. Basically, that elevator, if I remember correctly, takes you either to a Platinum Vault or to a slightly optional area where you can snag a different type of gadgets via side quest. You'll be able to see this very part anyway. Also, again, another side note on why I love the bouncer, the sound that is that the small projectiles make when they bounce around. It's just so damn satisfying as a weapon. The only reason I wouldn't call it my favorite weapon in the entire franchise is because stuff like the Rhino exists, and everyone loves the BFG, so I cannot, say no to that.
Of course.
Alright.
Although it says something that even the Rhino guy from the first game knows that gun's too hot to sell again.
Which means also it gets, different upgrades. Oh, okay, no, it's a nanotech upgrade. Okay. There we go. months later that we're gonna get that option area. Again, you'll be able to still see in this very part. And 8 lives, I think with this particular music, this area feels a bit more like, you know, Secret Agent style infiltration.
Yeah.
Yeah, because lately, because Niels is big with the Hitman games is interesting. In the first game, it was mainly a lot of techno with some orchestral instrumentation in there.
Mm-hmm.
The second game was a bit less techno, and the third game was mostly orchestra. Well, okay. Software orchestra, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, considering the setting of Hitman is, while not heavily sci-fi based, still has some presence to it, I can imagine some type of soft electronic music similar a bit to what Frank Reznor and Atticus Ross would do present. Oh, there you go. I'll meet you, Angela.
On secure band 7 Echo Foxtrot.
Ratchet here. Angela? Is that your name?
Ratchet was calling you
You're
something
wondering
quite
if
different.
the game, because if you've been pondering if the
Anyway,
game wants to
I'm just
take the
calling to warn
opportunity
you
to
that
ship
Thugs for Less
Ratchet
have
with
taken over
Angela,
my flying
not
lab.
really.
But
There
were
are
the
a few
thugs
lines
not
that
working
might
for you?
imply
Not
that he wants
anymore.
to flirt a bit, but
Apparently,
not
someone's
really as
made
much
him a
as you
better
would think.
offer.
The game will try to
I tell you,
give
between
Ratchet
the
a lot of
thugs and the
interest in the
Protopet,
next
this
game,
whole
technically.
galaxy's heading for...
Wait, say again? Protopet?
Oh, yeah, it's
And
what
again,
they're
I kind of
calling
like that.
the
It's, you know, it's a
experiment
bit
now.
too obvious to
Here,
say,
watch
oh,
this.
we're of the same species. That means we're destined for each other.
I mean, hey, it's not like our species is endangered or anything.
In that case, too, I'm not sure how you'll think about Blue Skies Rio.
Introducing the
Anyway, well, to be fair, it was kind of a plot point also in Ice Age 2, Pedro.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Anyway, again, technically speaking, it's now that the game starts calling the experiment the Protopet, but like I said, it really doesn't call anything, so don't worry. Me saying it early did not really change anything. But as you can see, even the commercials are not painting a flattering picture.
Stop by Planet Bolden and get yours free.
How is
from
this
Abercrombie
company even
Fizwidget
still
himself.
going with Fizwidget at the helm?
Well, keep in mind, the
thing is going
Protopet
to be a
technically
pet?
hasn't been publicly
MegaCorp intends
released
to
yet,
market
so
a killer.
technically
That
they
is
haven't
simply
suffered the obvious disaster that should come
unconscionable.
from that.
Which is exactly what I've been trying to tell you. There will be disastrous consequences for the entire galaxy if that monster is distributed.
We must get through to Mr. Fizwidget.
If you still think he'll listen, you should try to catch him on the planet Bolden. I'll upload the coordinates.
This could be our last chance.
You know this is serious business now. We have to stop the distribution of
Yeah,
the toy
entire
that our boss
shipment,
is trying to sell.
Just to make
So
sure.
yeah, there you go. Surprise of all surprise, the person we thought was an antagonist actually had good intentions from the start.
Well, to be fair, so far, you know, the game has done a decent enough job to still paint a more ambiguous situation in regards to Fizwidget, as he might be just really that kind of an idiot.
Well, keep in mind, a lot of our setbacks have happened arguably more so because of him than the actual attack, and, well, bad guys for the first half
Yeah.
of the game.
Again, to be fair, as the thief, Angela was still also a bit of a klutz. Like,
Oh, she was very much a klutz. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, for as much as she berates the thugs for being incompetent, she was tripping over her own feet half the time.
alright, this is back when there you go, the tractor beam is useful again. You had to, there you go, stop the Pink Floyd album cover, lasers, I guess, and move forward. Oh, sorry, Force of Habit. I was possessed by leaves for a second there. There we go. Then grab the Robo Inspector. There you go. Oh look, 2 sheeps, adorable. Let's see, there you go, if you pay attention there is a steep that you can actually potentially climb on top of. So, let's see if by moving the 2 containers, I can actually do that. Oops.
I love how majestic the music sounds. Like it's kind of going for, I'm not sure, James. Well, okay, 90s era James Bond.
Yeah. This puts you back a bit outside. Even the map doesn't really showcase this. Again, there is this minor kerfuffle, but don't worry. Again, you can take this guy out. As again, the bouncer proves to be your... Oh, that's another thing that I forgot to mention. Well, I guess I can do after we encounter this guy. So this guy is a bit important. This is Qwark fanboy, voiced by Ben Diskin. Of course, doing his #1 shtick.
Ratchet of Velden. I knew this day would come.
They really were typecasting Ben Diskin for this kind of
for I
role.
smite you in the name of Captain
All the way
Qwark.
back then.
Well,
You
again,
know, a
I
lot of
appreciate
people-
that these days they allow him to...
He was only 20.
Sweet death.
He was only 21 at this
At
point.
last
I
we
appreciate that these
Nobly,
days they
I
allow
fall
him
on
to
the
actually
field of
voice act with a
battle.
more normal range, at least once in a while.
You know, the funny
Let's get
thing is, he
going.
actually got to voice with a normal rage even in
You
KND,
seemed the
since
greatest
a lot of people
superhero
don't know
ever
this. He
lived.
voiced #1, but he also voiced #2.
Anyway,
What do
this
you want from
fanboy
us, sir?
wants something in return for shaming,
How about some
quote-unquote,
cool Qwark
Qwark
stuff
in the
from
first
your
game.
galaxy?
Why are you even here? Qwark is not
This
even known in
armor
this galaxy.
magnetizer.
I
Maybe
believe
he
that
transferred.
device is designed to attract bolts.
But
I mean, we have established that, you know, the company from the first game also had a presence here, so maybe some
and I
people
don't
just
get an
happened to
animation for
immigrate.
collecting these platinum bolts. Okay.
Weird.
But yeah, we don't have the collectible that this fanboy wants yet, so we'll get back to him another time. And I'm sure this guy will never be important ever again.
Ah, never, never.
And he voiced Mega Man
Which specific version?
11.
Oh, neat. Well, yeah, I guess he fits the role, sure. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can talk about this. I'm not sure if I will showcase it now, but here's the problem. One of the problems that I have with the weaponry here. You know how hilarious but yet super effective the lava gun has been so far? Well, once it gets upgraded, it becomes basically worthless because it trades the, well, the peace lava beam, for lack of a better term, you know, for a single projectile that really doesn't do as much damage as you want. So it basically becomes worthless as a weapon. The devs noticed this because in the first game this weapon comes back, but its upgraded version, it's actually much better because they drastically changed that. I really don't know what was the thought process when they made it for this one though, because again, it has the same school of thought of Ram Raid evolves into artillery in Pokemon Gen 2. It just feels so random, out of nowhere, and a genuine downgrade.
Weird, isn't it?
Alright, let's clean all the enemies before moving the column. If you notice, another one of the columns that you can use with a tractor beam is our silo that contain missiles, which can be used to blow up specific doors. Sorry, you need to borrow your feet for this.
But I want to give him a hint.
It's for a good cause, sir.
I don't
It's
remember
for the fate
asking.
of the galaxy.
Alright.
How will I walk?
Here you need to pull a bit of a switcheroo. Classic, you know, puzzle where you have two things on a rail system and you need to actually switch them in place. It's not as complex as the ones in the Layton games, don't worry, but it's still quite hilarious. I was wondering if there was something up that I could have gone, but no.
Nice surprise.
Well, to be fair, yeah, again, the game has kind of taught me that, you know, when they put cylinders like this with different heights, usually there is a reward if I actually jump on top of them instead of, you know, using them the intended way. Again, one of the problems is you may notice that sometimes the hit detection of this thing is a bit wonky. Again, despite the fact that each silo has 4 context-sensitive buttons, sometimes the tractor beam acts like it didn't register them. Alright, let's blow the joint, there you go.
Again, this music really would not be out of place in 90s James Bond, I dig it.
The Pierce Brosnan era, basically. Oh, shit. Basically now, thankfully the conveyor belt will move back and forward, so it's not like you soft lock yourself, but you still need to pick up the pace, so there you go.
I always consider it sort of the mark of how skilled a developer is, or rather, I do it as a mark of being able to clear amateurs by, you know, not soft-locking yourself. I'm not saying that, you know, you're automatically an amateur if you do that, but
again,
typically devs that
most of the time it does feel like a dick move anyway, so I get it, you know, why people would be pissed about that.
Yeah, like, and again, it's kind of a bit of an amateurish look if, like, you involve soft-locking. Now, granted, if it's intentional, yeah, you're just being a dick then. Otherwise, yeah, it's not a good look.
Unless it's basically the bread and butter and the entire point of the game, so you know what you're getting into. Case in point, fear and hunger.
True.
Yep.
Interesting that whoever made this system decided to make it a puzzle on blowing up the wall.
And I guess they get reformed periodically. I mean, this is a factory after all.
Is this how workers get around? Hey, look, we didn't exactly think of how to do things in regards to the building code, so I mean, you guys just solve a puzzle to blow up the wall and we'll reform it later.
I can kind of believe that, especially because considering most of the personnel is, you know, roboticized, we probably don't even allow them the thought about unionizing.
That is a good point.
Again, though, if you notice, more and more of the ships are scattering the level. I wonder why.
Oh my god, Toasty's descendants!
Toasty.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, he will be still the most ferocious boss of the entire franchise.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I don't even know what the boss on Spider-1 I could consider the suckiest. I guess, no, Jacques a pro projectile. I guess Toasty, because he doesn't do anything.
I mean, I guess I feel like Toasty...
attack, I guess, if he gets close, but that's kinda it.
I give Toasty some credit. I feel like the game was...
Meet the morphing weapon of this game, the Sheepinator. Do you like ships?
Yeah.
Do you like seeing enemies getting destroyed? If you like one of these things, you will love the Sheepinator. Look at that.
You know, again, I wouldn't be surprised if this was Insomniac thinking back to their Spyro days.
Like I said,
sheep were like one of the most common things you could torch in those games.
Like I said, each game...
If only this was...
Gone.
If only this came out when Shaun the Sheep was a thing.
All of the games tend to have, you know, mutagen-like weapon, you know, for funsies, so, you know...
Yep.
Oh, shit.
No, don't you see? There's totally a world down below you can go.
Just to be sure, there you go. Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it was... okay, I don't know if it was for this PS3 version or it was also in the PS2 original, but the lack of draw distance, you know, the not needing the draw distance for that particular level, that's actually interesting as an accomplishment, because, you know, it wouldn't be that obvious until we actually spot it. So.
I remember the PS2 version being like
the
that as
same.
well.
Yeah, again, especially compared to Spyro 1, which had basically one of its major problems being the draw distance. Sure, better than all of games like we've said, but still not as much as people would have wanted. Anyway, tune in for the next part when we get to Planet, if I recall correctly, Bodan. See you for that.
See ya.
See ya.